For more than 6 decades, he has followed his own instincts, ignored expectations, and refused to explain himself, even to his own fans. While many artists soften with age, Dylan remained famously blunt, dismissive, and brutally honest. At 85, Dylan's legacy is untouchable. A Nobel Prize winner. A songwriter who reshaped modern language. A cultural force who influenced everyone from the Beatles to hip-hop artists. But behind the poetry and mystery lies a man who never hesitated to call out people he disliked, distrusted, or openly clashed with. Over the years, Dylan has made his feelings very clear about certain celebrities, sometimes in interviews, sometimes in songs, and sometimes through icy silence. Here are the 5 celebrities Bob Dylan has shown the most public contempt for. 1. The music industry itself, personified by executives and critics. More than any single celebrity, Bob Dylan's greatest hatred has always been reserved for the music industry. Record executives, critics, journalists, award committees, Dylan has spent a lifetime resisting their attempts to define him. He despised being labeled a spokesman for a generation, being pressured to stay political, being told how his music should sound. Dylan famously walked away from folk purists, rock fans, protest movements, and even his own success, just to avoid being controlled. To Dylan, fame was a trap. Institutions were cages. If there's one thing he truly hated, it was being owned. 2. Donovan. Few rivalries in folk music were as awkward as Dylan versus Donovan. When Donovan emerged in the mid-1960s, critics labeled him the new Bob Dylan. Dylan hated the comparison. He viewed Donovan as a watered-down imitation, someone benefiting from Dylan's innovations without taking the same artistic risks. The tension became obvious during their infamous encounter in Don't Look Back, where Dylan coldly dismisses Donovan's songwriting in front of others. To Dylan, originality was sacred, and he had no patience for anyone riding his shadow. 3. John Lennon, late career fallout. Early on, Dylan and John Lennon deeply admired each other. Dylan influenced Lennon's lyrics. Lennon championed Dylan as a poet. But things soured. Dylan reportedly disliked Lennon's public moralizing and political preaching in the early 1970s. While Dylan believed art should provoke thought, Lennon often told people exactly what to think. Lennon later admitted Dylan pulled away from him. Dylan disliked being used as a symbol, and he hated public crusades. What began as mutual respect faded into distance and quiet resentment. Their feud symbolized a deeper divide, traditional pop versus raw, expressive songwriting. Dylan never attacked Sinatra outright, but his silence spoke volumes. 4. Frank Sinatra. Bob Dylan admired classic American songwriting, but Frank Sinatra didn't return the favor. Sinatra openly mocked Dylan's voice and dismissed his music as amateurish. Dylan, in turn, never forgave the insult. Rather than responding directly, Dylan quietly dismissed Sinatra as someone who represented an old guard that didn't understand artistic evolution. Dylan believed emotion mattered more than polish. Sinatra believed polish was the point. Their feud symbolized a deeper divide, traditional pop versus raw, expressive songwriting. Dylan never attacked Sinatra outright, but his silence spoke volumes. 5. Mick Jagger. Despite both being British Invasion-era legends, Bob Dylan and Mick Jagger were never close. Dylan often criticized what he saw as manufactured rebellion in rock music. While he respected the Rolling Stones musically, he mocked the idea of rock stars playing revolutionary roles while living comfortably inside the system. In private conversations and interviews, Dylan dismissed Jagger's persona as overly calculated and image-driven. To Dylan, rebellion had to be earned through ideas, not stage moves. The tension wasn't explosive, just cold. Dylan saw himself as a writer and thinker, while he viewed Jagger as a performer first. Respect? Maybe. Affection? Definitely not. At 85, Dylan stands as proof that artistic independence often comes with enemies. He chose isolation over approval, integrity over popularity. And he never apologized for it. Which name surprised you the most? Do you think Dylan was right, or just stubborn? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like, and subscribe for more untold rock history.